What's up, everybody? Welcome into your daily camp briefing from Gillette Stadium. Bill Perry, Tom Curran. It's a Tuesday. August is upon us. And what did the Patriots do today? They took off the pads that they had donned for the first time on Monday and went through kind of a brief, nondescript training camp practice. It's almost as if they went into the pool on Monday and then came scurrying back out of the pool, and they're going to dry off and get back in and get a little bit warmer. But again, a nondescript practice to a large extent. Phil, is that what you took away as well?
I subscribe to the Bill Belichick theorem, which is every day's a big day for everyone. So I'm not going to say it was nondescript. We're still going to have stuff to talk about today.
Oh, I don't mean to say
they
that.
They got a chance to throw the football down the field after strictly focusing on quick game passing and run game yesterday. We did get to see them air it out a little bit, specifically that first team offense. And I thought the results were pretty mixed.
When you say mixed, that gives the impression like with mixed nuts, you're going to get all kinds of nuts. With the mixed results of today, that means that there were some really good results in addition to some discouraging ones. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's been a disappointing output and a frustrating output for the first two quarterbacks in terms of finding people open downfield and having enough time.
That's what I would say to the negative. I think the separation factor is a problem right now. Maybe that just means the Patriots secondary is that good, that they are that sticky. But it feels like for those first two groups, there hasn't been a ton in the way of running free and naked down the field. Now, I would say they started out, the first team offense specifically, started out strong. Maybe the best play of the day, Mac Jones down the sideline to Devontae Parker, well covered by Christian Gonzalez. He's a jump ball specialist, Parker is. We know that. Mac Jones put it in a good spot where only Parker could get it, leaping, twisting, grab for about 20, maybe 25 yards. Maybe the best play of the day. And they finished well, the offense did. In the red zone, they had a walk-in touchdown on a swing pass to Ramondre Stevenson, well executed. And then they had a little in-cut from Hunter Henry, who in my opinion has been Mac Jones's most trusted target through camp, for another touchdown with Jabril Peppers right there, tight coverage, tight window. The offense was very happy with itself after that play. But in between, Tom, a lot of sort of patting the football behind the line of scrimmage, check downs to Ramondre Stevenson, because some of these other guys, it feels like, aren't getting open.
What's interesting is, as you sit there, you're wondering, well, how's Bill O'Brien doing with this? This new offensive coordinator that I basically talked about as the savior of the offense, and he's going to get Mac Jones back where he was. Is Bill O'Brien losing his mind on a regular basis? He's also known as the Teapot. He is not. It's fascinating to watch him because unlike last year where it was Joe Judge and Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick, you had all these guys with their hands in the stew, stirring and talking and chirping and blabbing. Bill O'Brien stands there off to the side, not even behind the offense. He's closer to the sideline than he is to the huddle. And he has his walkie-talkie. He walkie-talkies the play in. He goes like this as the play's going on. And then he just goes to the next play. The only time I saw a God damn it was when Bailey Zappi had a pass batted down on a throw to the sideline on kind of a screen flare to the flat, and he wasn't that psyched about that. Phil pointed out that's a play they tried to run yesterday, and it got blown up as well. But it's funny to watch that bedside manner for Bill O'Brien. And I'll tell you this, too. Bill Belichick isn't talking. It's as much as we are harping on and showing concern about a lack of separation, these guys aren't looking at each other and going, this is outrageously bad. They're just on to the next thing. I think if you're a fan, you would take some solace in that.
It's orderly, and I think the few times where you might get that kind of, not over the top, but that sort of emotional reaction that you described from Bill O'Brien, that one quick one, is when you have something like a free runner defensively, and no one's accounted for him offensively, and somebody, whether it's Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones, has to throw because there's a pass rusher in his face and has to do something that neither of those guys are all that well-suited to do, which is throw off your back foot, throw off platform, drop your arm angle, and throw around a Josh Uche or a Marcus Jones, as was the case on that one play that you described. And there have been some of those. Now, again, maybe it's too early to assume that they'll get every blitz picked up and that they'll be able to provide sound pockets on a regular basis. But that's the other concern for me offensively, is there do seem to be a decent number of plays almost every day where you have a defensive back coming off the edge and giving the quarterbacks, whether it's Zappi or Mac Jones, because it's happened with both, almost a little pat on the thigh, as if to say, I would have had you there if I had been allowed to hit you.
which makes us wonder, is that related to the 3/5 of the offensive line that you presume would be starting absent today? No Mike Onwenu is standard practice. Cole Strange not back yet from the twisted knee from Monday that we saw, and Trent Brown again on kind of a rehab day had his uniform on. They were not in pads today, but he did not partake. How much of this, I wonder, is related to defense being good, offense still trying to find its stride, and the offensive line being overwhelmed?
I think that has to be a significant portion of it, especially for the second unit. Today, to me, the pass rush was particularly troublesome for that second offensive line because you've got 3 of your second team offensive linemen up with the first team. So Bailey Zappi had a heck of a time. I had him taking at least 3 and maybe 4 sacks today. Now, Mac Jones took 1 as well, but that's not leading to competent offense when the quarterback basically has to eat the football because A, there's nobody open, and B, the defense is starting to swarm you pretty quickly after the snap.
Yeah. And again, when we go on early edition, we spend a lot of time talking about how concerned are you? Also, what are your concerns? How concerning is it? And what's your panic level? I think if I was seeing panic and disorganization from the coaches, I would feel more concerned because it's as if they've already exhausted every possibility and can't do it. I'm just not seeing that.
No, I was just going to say to that point, the players' body language, which is something we read into a lot last year, is worth noting too. When they scored that touchdown, both to Stevenson and Hunter Henry in the red zone portion of practice today, you had little celebrations going on with the offense. You had Mac Jones with a pep in his step because he knew they finished that period strong, and he understands how, even if those plays aren't necessarily outstanding in terms of how they look to us, finding that little window to Hunter Henry in tight coverage when you're down inside the 15-yard line, those are difficult to come by in the NFL. And when you can hit on one, you're going to celebrate a little bit. So they're feeling good about how they look today, in my opinion.
Yeah, the body language is actually really important because we did infer a lot and we inferred it correctly, which generally, as much as people criticize body language, interpretation is generally accurate if you're good at it. And you spend enough time trying to ferret out what different moves, facial expressions, head hanging means, you can figure it out. And so far, you're not seeing a resigned group of offensive players. Phil, no Cole Strange, as I mentioned, no Calvin Anderson. Also, Ty Montgomery continues to be out. Anybody else we need to whack on? Oh, how'd the kicker look?
The kicker, Chad Ryland, got a bunch of reps at the end of practice today from what looked like relatively short distance. Hard to tell because they were down the opposite end of the field from us. And for the most part, he was okay. He did hook one wildly left at one point, and it was hard to tell, okay, is there a problem with the hold? Is there a problem with the snap there that maybe leads to something like that? But just something to keep an eye on because it was so far left that it was very clear to anybody that was here watching practice. Put it up the Shields MRI sign, which is a good, 20, 25 feet left of the left upright.
Yeah, it was left of left. All right, everybody. We had a nice time today. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Pads are probably back on. I'm expecting a spirited practice. Thank you, as always, to Annie Hall behind the camera. It's nice to have Casey Keene out of our face.